Welcome back to the channel, and I'm finally back at my house. So of course I got a lot of new stuff to share with y'all. I'm gonna try to get through these as fast as I possibly can. We got a lot of new Kaisers. We got a lot of new offerings that have showed up while I was on my trip. We're gonna get started. First up with the Kaiser Brat. This is the newest of the Kaiser Brats, and this time they put a gun stock texture on the G10 for some extra grip, I guess. Still have the same 154 cm blade, except this time it is black coated with the green G10. Here it is next to the original. Now, I'm going to be honest, I prefer the original for two reasons. First, I rather the stonewash blade. It hides wear a lot better. And I prefer the smooth G10 scales over this one. Now, if you needed more grip, I understand. This one would probably be a good option. Whenever I grip this, I don't know if you can see that, but there's actually peaks on there. So my neuropathy in my hands, it hurts my hands pretty bad. Now, I'm going to easily fix that. Once I'm done with this video, I'm going to take some fine grit sandpaper and just knock the peaks off. And another reason for that is because those peaks are sitting underneath this pocket clip. So talk about it's going to be a pocket destroyer if I don't fix that. But thankfully, G10 is very easy to sand. So I'm going to knock that off, and then this one will be a good one. I might even swap blades between these two. They look like they're the same everything around. So yeah, it looks like it could happen. The fact that the Brat is a G10 integral is very cool. As you can see, this one has texture right here. This one they left smooth, and then they swapped it up. This is smooth, this has texture. So, you know, I'm glad they at least changed it up some, even though the change doesn't really work that well for me. The G10 integral is cool because this comes out, it's probably a block about that thick of G10, and they mill out the inside of that. And that's got to take a good while. Then they put this little piece in there to make it structurally sound. Can't flex that. And one cool thing about integrals is they're going to be stronger than knives that have back spacers or standoffs, because you don't have to worry about the shifting on these because this is all one piece. Now with G10, I don't know how much stronger it'd be. G10 is some pretty darn tough stuff. You'd probably be able to do most of the same things you'd be able to do with any of the other knives. But yeah, it's cool nonetheless. And I wanted to get these out because the early bird sale is still going on. It's going to end at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if any of these interest you, any of the new ones interest you, I would jump on them now while you get 10% off. So this one right now is going for $80 while you have the 10% early bird discount. So if this is one you're interested in, jump on it. I will have links to everything down in the description. There will probably be affiliate links. So if you want to help support what I do here in this channel and you're planning on buying it anyway, that's awesome. If not, no biggie. So that's the first one, the newest Kaiser Brat. This right here is the Kaiser Riverbank. So just a pretty simplistic knife. You have a drop point blade. This one has a black coated Nitro V blade. It's got some good jipping up top. One thing I like about this one is look how thin that blade stock is. Nice and thin, and it's ground nice and thin. So this thing is going to be a slicing machine. And I like the fact they're using Nitro V. They're supposedly Rockwell in the Nitro V, I think from 60 to 61 or 60 to 62, something like that. And if that is the case, that is awesome. Now this particular one, they just have black wood. I don't know, that's what it's called. It looks nice. It's got black steel liners. It's got a deep carry clip. It's not inset into the frame, but it is deep carry, and they have rounded over the front of that, and it is reversible. It's got really good action, of course, nice snappy action. It is flipper only, and from my medium-sized hands, I get a nice 4-finger grip. It's fairly lightweight. It has tons of skeletonization in there. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Good access to the lock bar. Yeah, they always do a good job with all the little fine details. See, how is that sharpening choil? That's the one thing that it looks like that plunge comes right behind here, so it may start to widen up on you after your first sharpening. I can't say that for certain, but that's what it looks like. You can see the shadow going down right there. Let's see, is that something that's easily fixable? Yeah. You don't have to worry about the stop pin because it's up here. So it is easily fixable if you wanted to, you know, grind more of that in so you wouldn't have a smile back here. You could definitely do that. And right now with the 10% off, this knife is coming in at $44. If you don't like wood and you don't like coated blades, it also comes with brown micarta with a stone wash blade. That's probably the one that I would have chose if I would have been choosing. And there's also one with a black G10 with a black wash blade, but all of them are $44. So if you like the overall aesthetics and you don't like something about this one, like I said, if you'd rather a stone wash blade instead of a coated blade, they have you covered there. We have a new Kaiser Gemini, and I like this one. I don't love just the plain black blade. I'll probably stone wash that, but the Gemini itself, I love. The last Gemini I had bought a long time ago, comfortable. Now, the difference between these two is this one's in N690, which, you know, it's a good budget steel. This one is in Nitro V. Some aspects I prefer Nitro V. But this one has the PEI. It's basically Ultem, a thermoplastic, and you can kind of see through that. And I do like the texture on these scales. It does offer a good bit of grip. You can kind of feel where the chamfer goes right there. You can kind of feel the peaks of the Ultem. It is reversible. And this one, like I said, Nitro V, and this is a full flat grind. Fairly thin blade stock, Ray Laconico design. This is a slicey little monster here. This one sliced really well, but another one that's plagued with mediocre sharpening notch right here. As you can see there, you're gonna have some sharpening life. Your plunge goes to about right there. So yeah, you should have 1 or 2 sharpenings before it'll start to widen in the back. How about this one? This one, you should have more. It looks like they brought that plunge line back a little bit more, and you just got to be careful to put light pressure back there. But can you open it up yourself? Yes, of course you can, because the stop pin's up here. So if you want to increase that, you can. The action on every single one of these I've ever owned, very, very nice. For the Nitro V versions, coming in at $64 right now with 10%. They also have a newer one that still has the Stonewash N690 blade with the carbon fiber G10 laminate. That's going for $69 right now. It looks like we have another Kaiser Milit with the PVD coated tie. This one has the gold dark matter fat carbon in it. Very attractive. They also had the one with the purple haze fat carbon. I don't know what I think I loaned mine to somebody because I cannot find it anywhere. But these are outstanding knives. This still has the polished DLC finish. And I have to say, I've been using the purple haze one, or I was using it before I couldn't find it. And I haven't been able to scratch that one either. I do prefer the satin DLC over the polished because of that. But I've always liked the Milit. The original one is excellent as well. The original one has S35VN with a stonewash blade, micarta inlays, and the DLC ones have an S45VN blade and then the fat carbon. We had the Kaiser Cabox. This one has a stonewashed 154 cm blade. These things slice so well because this is a deep hollow grind. I mean, thin and slicey. It has the frag G10 texture, beautiful action, just like every single one of them. You got the back flipper, you got the front flipper, and my favorite, the blade hole. Comfortable, excellent little users. This goes for $72, and I think that's a good deal for what you're getting here. Then they also dropped the newer KaiserHRA. The original one was all blacked out with black washed titanium and belay. This one has a carbon fiber show scale and a blasted lock siding clip. The only thing I don't really love about this knife is the blade to handle ratio. I mean, it is super off, and I'm guessing the designer of this may live in an area where it's 3 and under. I'm guessing. I don't know what's up. I'm guessing this is under 3 inches. S45VN on this. It's an excellent utility blade. I mean, that is a scalpel up there. My other one, I've used it quite a bit for that kind of stuff, drag cuts, and it's still decently thin. You can see right here, they managed to get this flat ground pretty darn thin. And of course, it has beautiful action. You can reverse flick off of this fuller right here. There's the designer's name. And another one that has a pretty wonky sharpening choil, easy to fix, and it's got an internal stop pin there. But this is what I was talking about. Look at that blade to handle ratio. Man, you could cut off about this much of this handle. Let's check it out. I gotta know this. Okay, I was wrong. Now I don't understand. That just makes no sense to me. Because this is about a 3 1/8, so it's over 3 inches. So you can't pass there. Huh. I don't understand. Because that is off. But I love the overall design itself. I think it's an attractive looking knife. Excellent if, like you said, if you do a lot of utilitarian type cuttings, then this is excellent. Other than the blade to handle ratio, I love it. We have the new Kaiser Bowtie. Got a nice fold over taco sheath. One thing that I wish I would see on here, I wish we had a little thumb ramp right here. You have somewhat of a thumb ramp, but it's not easy to push off on. You almost pretty much have to just pull it out. I don't really like that all that much, but it's doable. It has a kind of like a Mermert style stainless steel clip here. Go through the belt, or what I do like about these, I can flip it over and I can clip it to the pocket. And I like the overall style of this fixed blade. I guess you would hold it like this, because I feel very locked in this way. It's pretty chunky because, you know, it's full tang, of course. They beveled the sides. You can get it with this, I think it's a powder coat on it, D2 steel, or I think you can get it 9 coated as well, I think with a stonewash finish. Full flat grind, and it feels like it's ground decently thin. This would be an excellent little bench knife. This grip right here, put your fingers like that. Excellent for drag cuts. This way, nice quick cut there. And let's see, who is the designer here? So I can't read that. Y'all can let me know down in the comments. The jimping definitely grips my finger. It's not as bad. I would be worried on the non-coated, but this coated kind of makes it a little bit less aggressive. Sharpening choil, you might have, let's see. Looks like you might have about 2, maybe 3 sharpenings before to widen there, but this is a fixed blade. That's easy to fix, but you definitely have to be careful because of this right here. So, I don't know. And being this is D2 steel, I would have to guess this is probably under 50 bucks. If I find out before I finish editing, I'll put it up here. Now this next one I was super excited about. I bought this one myself, and that is the Kaiser Mini Harpoon. Like I said, I was super excited about it, but to me, there's almost some deal breakers on this one. My original one came with a Kydex. I would have loved the fold over on this one, but between these two, I would much rather this one, and it has micarta scales. This one was an exclusive, I think, to Blade HQ, and this one's in CPM 10V. Excellent little EDC size, but this sheath is pretty bad. It's very, very flimsy. I wouldn't trust this. For me, I guess if I do carry it with this, I'm probably going to cut this off and just drop it in the pocket. But my biggest problem with this is this little retention. So it's hard to unhook it because it's very flimsy. And watch this. You better hold this back like this. And look, you're going to need to tilt your blade, because if you run your edge over that, your edge is going to be wrecked, especially after a fresh sharpening. Just very flimsy sheath. These come in at $69. So it has Ultim or PEI scales with that nice milling on there. So you got some good traction. These are pretty darn slicey blades. And this one is in CPM 3V steel. It's got the powder coat to it. Same dimensions as the original one that I have right here. So I was wondering, does the TPI or PEI fit in the Kydex sheath? And that it does. So whenever I carry this one, I'm probably going to just use the Kydex, swap it out. But if you really wanted this one and you did not want to carry it in this one, you'd have to get a Kydex sheath made for it. And I'm sure there's a lot of Kydex makers that would be able to handle that could handle that for you. But man, I love this little scoop right here. It's so comfortable. You can get way more pressure down on the things with that. Now it's got way more belly than I usually go for. But being that it's a small blade, I can still kind of get that tip on the things if I need to. Very pokey tip there. And it fits my medium-sized hands perfectly. But for me, I'm very underwhelmed with this sheath. Especially whenever you had this. Now, I know they're probably trying to save a little money and to keep the price down, but this ain't the way right here at Kaiser. You have the newer version of the Kaiser Cabox. Good sheath here. Love the way they put the push-off ramp there. That's what I wish they would have done with this one, the bow tie. So this one has the green G10 and black coated D2 blade. My original one has the Stonewash D2 blade with the micarta. I prefer this over the black coated blade. But this right here is only going to cost you 59 bucks. And I think for 59 bucks, I think it's a good knife. It did take me a little while to get used to this ring. I don't really love it. I've been told it's to get it out of the, like, you know, if you're hiking or something, to get it out easier, to like reach behind your back so you can grab a hold to it. I don't know if that's what it's for or not. But other than that, I like the fixed blade. I'm just not a huge fan of the ring. It just doesn't do much for me. However, whenever you're holding a knife, you can definitely use it to your advantage if you have larger or extra large hands. All right, we're going to stop it here because that's already been long enough. Stay tuned for the other new stuff that I had come in while I was away. It'll make for another full-size video. But like I said, if any of these interest you, I will have them linked down below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave those down below as well. Thank y'all for everyone who watched the videos while I was on my trip. I can't thank y'all enough. Y'all are awesome. And I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.